film called Albatross is going to premiere this week, and then what will you do? You'll go back? Do you have another project? Because I know this is not the first that you have done that's about the garbage of the world and its effects on nature. What are you planning next?
Well, the Albatross film is going to have at least a year of making tours of screenings around the world. I'm going to go to a bunch of festivals screening it. I want to give the film as a gift, as a public artwork, rather than to treat it as a commercial film, because that's how it came to me. You know, the whole story of Midway came to me as this tremendous gift of healing, and I want it to just pass right through me to whoever wants to experience it. And it also, there's something that feels wrong about making profit from the suffering of the birds that I love. And then as a next project, I'm not sure yet, but one thing I know is that I'm just really passionately in love with the oceans. So I'm thinking I want to get out somewhere out in an ocean again sometime soon.
All right, Chris, we're going to give people links so they can see these images and the film, and I appreciate speaking with you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me on your show. Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Chris Jordan is a photographer based in Seattle, Washington. His film Albatross premieres this week at the Mountain Film Festival in Telluride, Colorado. And you can find more on this story, including some of Mr. Jordan's still photos and video, cbc.ca/AIH. Program, could it be the future of clothing? Scientists have designed bacteria-lined workout gear that lets your skin breathe. We're going to hear from an MIT researcher how these ventilated duds work, and more importantly, how cool we'll all look. Or not. That's later. You may have heard her story on As It Happens before. In 2011, Romana Manzoor's husband brutally attacked her. The attack left her blind. In an interview, she told us that he attacked her in part because he did not want her to return to school. Ms. Manzoor was a master's student at the University of BC at the time. Her case garnered international attention, and she returned to Canada. She finished her master's, then she enrolled in law school, and today she graduated and gave a speech to her class at UBC. Here is part of what Ms. Manzoor had to say.
It is hard to believe for me that I will not be a student at UBC anymore. My journey with UBC began in 2010 in Dhaka, Bangladesh, with a Google Earth search. I fell in love with the campus and chose UBC to pursue my master's degree in political science. The following May, in 2011, I went back to Bangladesh for the summer. I had to collect data for my thesis. I also needed to settle some personal matters. At that point, I was determined to get a divorce. Within just 20 days of my return, my husband attacked me. As a result of this horrendous attack and life-threatening attack, I became blind. I never saw the world again. After that, it is the passion,
Duration
compassion,
5 minutes.
and energy
54
of
calories.
UBC under
Heart rate's on
the
red line.
leadership of
Heart
Stephen
rate
Chu,
172.
who was the president at that time. That brought me, my parents, and my 5-year-old daughter from Dhaka to Vancouver. I'm proud to say our dean, who was at that time the president's advisor, played an integral and key role to make it happen. UBC gave me direction when I was lost.
That was Rumana Mansour speaking earlier today at a graduation ceremony at the University of British Columbia. In just a little bit, we're going to hear from the father of Canada's Justice Minister, Jody Wilson-Raybould. Her dad, Bill Wilson, is not happy and he is speaking out. The hereditary chief calls the inquiry into missing and murdered women a, quote, farce. And he goes on to say that he believes his daughter shares some of his feelings. That is coming up in just a few minutes on As It Happens. Frankie Paul had a very vivid memory of one particular day in 1975. When an interviewer asked him about it, he said, quote, "It was a wonderful day. It was raining a little in the morning." And if that seems surprisingly specific, that is because it was the day Stevie Wonder visited Mr. Paul's school, which was the Salvation Army School for the Blind in Kingston, Jamaica. Frankie Paul himself was born blind, and although an operation and some super strong glasses did give him limited sight later on. During that visit, he sang for his idol, Mr. Wonder, who told him he should pursue a career in music. And he did. And if you were pursuing his pursuits, you had a lot of pursuing to do. He once estimated he had recorded 5,000 songs over his career. Not because he had a particularly important political or social message to deliver. Generally, he did not. But because he loved it. And because he sang so beautifully. Frankie Paul died last week of complications related to kidney failure. He was just 51 years old. Starting with his first recordings in 1980, when he was just 15 years old, his songs provided an important bridge between the spiritual and the political concerns of reggae and the lighter stuff of the dancehall music of the time. He leaned very heavily toward that lighter stuff, mostly singing about love in an astonishingly elastic voice. He was also an accomplished musician who could play multiple instruments, and he used all that talent to lift people's spirits, to be, to his fans, what Stevie Wonder had been to him. And here's one of those hits, one of his hits, a song in which he considers the threat of a giant wall of water and dismisses it. From 1985, this is Frankie Paul with Tidal Wave.